Tried to do it. It won't work. It's all right.
As soon as it pops up, I'll share.
I should be popping up momentarily.
Okay.
Yeah. How was your last day?
It was great. I got so many. Here's some of the cards. This one just like stuck out to me. I don't know if you can see it, but it says you are good no matter what. And then
Oh,
this is from Morian. She said on the inside, she's like, "Hey, Miss Farmer, I know that you love math, and I made this card for you. You make me so happy and listen to me when I need need something. So thank you so much." I got so many of them. I got like here's all of them. Oops, all the all the cards that I got.
that is so cute.
And then one student gave me I love Freddy's. Gave me a gift card to Freddy's. And then let me share it. And then the other student gave me a gift card to some bakery, like a local bakery that I haven't tried.
Oh.
So I was like, am I gonna get this when I'm a teacher? Sign me up for these kids. Oh, let me turn it down. Let me turn it down. So sign me up for these kids. Sign me up for those parents.
Look, I am all for helping out the little babies. I just don't have it in me to be a teacher or someone who is constantly with them. I feel like I've done my time.
You done your time. Was it a
I've done
prison
my time.
sentence?
It felt like it. It felt like it. I was with the school age, the 4-year-olds, the 3-year-olds. Oh gosh, running the 3-year-olds class, that was a lot. But I really enjoy teaching structure to the 2-year-olds and some autonomy there. That's what But I always tell people I was so direct before, and God was like, you need to go ahead and work with the kids so you can learn how to speak softly to people. And I was like, oh, okay.
So did it help you?
It did. Honestly, it
Okay.
did. Surprisingly, I because I used to be. Oh, I was a mess. I wasn't condescending or patronizing, but I would absolutely look at you crazy if you don't know what I do. And I had to go through a whole relearning of like, hey, so everybody didn't grow up the way you did. And yeah, it was a humbling experience. I'm glad it's over though.
So do you feel like your objective was achieved? That you got out of it what you were
I
looking?
didn't I look, my objective was to have a job. Like no lie, I wasn't even looking for a job.
Uh-huh.
This is how I knew God did it, right? This is absolutely how I knew God did it. I wasn't looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was dropping her was that's where my sister took her son.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher called, or the director called me and said, hey, I heard that you tutor. I want to start a program and want to know if you want to come on. We'll pay you to tutor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the rate that she gave me was a rate if I were working 15 hours a week,
Okay.
which was $3 higher than the other teachers who are there full time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I was like, well, they wanted to hire me full time. They wanted to hire me on full time because they're losing a teacher. And I was like, well, I'll be full time, but only at my same rate. And they were like, ooh, okay, all right. So they gave me my same rate. I was like,
Wow,
okay.
okay. I thought they were gonna say chuck the deuces at you. I wasn't quite
No,
sure
they.
how that was
I
going.
was in that role for 2 years, and then I was like, okay, yeah, this is enough. This is enough. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I mean it's not for everyone, but I know that I had a big epiphany. But I digress because your show is not about that. But I had a big epiphany recently. This is I don't know, just very self-reflective and like wow, like the clouds open, my and all that, and
Yeah,
so yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Welcome everybody to another episode of Take Up Space podcast live. I've been talking to many different people who are like, "Oh my gosh, I love your podcast, Take It Up Space," and I'm just like, "That's not what it's called." But thank you, appreciate you. Hey KK, I know I called and I was like, I don't know why you're not answering. You can still do it though. You just won't have me on if you want to go ahead and go live real quick. Hey Rachel, welcome. Hey Mike. I did this episode solo out of mostly necessity, but a little bit to stretch myself. Because I feel like it's oh, KK says hey.
Hey, let me hit you up right here. Okay.
Mostly to stretch myself, but it was something that I have been thinking about in because I'm really trying to mature my relationships. Hey Lenora. I'm really trying to mature myself and mature the way in which I communicate my relationships. Because you know how sometimes we speak out of lack.
Yeah.
Negatively.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I want my life to be better. And when my life started matching some of the things that I was thinking, I was like, I could do a lot better. So I'm trying to get out of the thing, like my
comfort zone.
Yeah, it's not even comfortable because we talk about comfort zone. It's just laziness.
Is it?
It's laziness.
I think it's also fear. I think it's also fear. I went to
like if you, I can agree that it's fear. I can agree that a small part of it is fear, but I would say that it's laziness just because if you have a job you don't like, mm-hmm. if you have a relationship you don't like, mm-hmm. a house you don't like, a car you don't like, some part of your lifestyle that you don't like, but you're used to it, you're not necessarily comfortable. It's just lazy because you have to work against what you have currently, mm-hmm. to get whatever's new. Hey, Janae.
Hey. I agree with you, and I'm like, it's like I'm here. It's like I hear you, but there's other factors that it's just like your episode, living in beliefs. Like, is what shapes and molds us, in my opinion, is things that we went through in our childhood, and so sometimes we just can't. Don't take this wrong. Can't help it. It's like this is what you've been thinking all of your life, mm-hmm. and you want to stop thinking it, but it takes being intentional to change how you were thinking. So some things we might not, step out and do because you have these thoughts from when you were younger.
Absolutely.
And people implanted these thoughts in your head. So I won't say that I agree. Sometimes people are lazy, like they just don't want to push themselves. Like, this is comfortable. This is working. Why change it? If it's, like people say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And so that is a part of it too. But then also, I think there's also other factors.
I think, yeah, I can agree that there's a lot of other factors, but it comes down to if you're willing to do the work. Yeah. And typically, if you're not willing to do the work, there is some form of laziness associated with not wanting to work.
What if you don't know where to start?
And well, there's a laziness and looking for looking for resources. If you don't know that you have all that you need, then you know that you have to go to someone who may have been there before, or find some people, get yourself around some people who can help to elevate you. So I do, but if you don't want to do that, it's lazy.
It's something all over lazy.
Lazy. It's just I feel like it's lazy. It's just lazy. So I mean, but I get it, because fear is absolutely debilitating. And if you can agree with yourself, this is scary, I don't want to do. Like, for instance, something that I can say is like jumping out of an airplane, right? I choose life. I don't need to jump out of an airplane to experience thrills.
Mm-hmm.
If it just because you're afraid to jump out of an airplane doesn't mean you're lazy. If there is something like a limiting belief that is affecting your life and you don't want to change it, but you know it needs to change, but you're afraid to get out of your comfort zone because you don't know where to start, you don't know who to talk to, you don't know where to go, or you feel like you're lacking in resources, you're continuing that thought pattern and not working to change that thought, because all it takes is the changing of a thought. But if you're lazy, you're not going to do that.
I can't say. We just have to agree to this.
This is this is like the first time Mike agreed with me.
If that's like, Mike, then he probably is. Just me, the limited amount of time I've met, he's probably is going to say it's lazy because I feel like we can do one-liners, but there's so many factors. Some people, okay, so say for instance, someone grew up in the hood and the people around them, all they see is people just not excelling, they don't know what success looks like. Absolutely. And yes, there's the internet, so I will say that the internet is at our fingertips. Literally, we walk around with a computer at our fingertips all day. Right. And yes, those people can simply Google things in their area or people in their area, organizations in their area, but they've never seen it done. So it's like it's just I feel like a child. I just feel like if you don't see things, I don't even know how to just formulate this, but I feel like if you don't see those things, yes, you know that you should do better, but you haven't seen it. It takes one person in that family. So if it's a generational curse, it takes one person in that family to make a decision to change their mind. But who is going to be that one person? Yes, I could be that one person. You could be that one person in your family, but everybody doesn't have that mentality. And I'm going to offer them some grace because I didn't always have that mentality. So I'll say that I wanted someone to offer me grace. So I offered them grace. And I just feel like there are so many things in people, mental health, I don't know, just different roadblocks that you have to break down. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like we can't do one-liners than just say lazy. Because I feel that it's just that where's the grace, where's the compassion in
there? Listen, girl, we've talked. Mm-hmm. We've had some very deep conversations. We know like there's grace to be shared on both sides. I'm not saying lazy as a derogatory term to condescend to people who have not been able to essentially, Janae, what we're talking about is breaking out of or building up a new character, so that it's to breaking out of the character, or leveling up. And I say that when people are stuck in the comfort zone, that's where we started? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it really, I asked the question, if you are stuck and you feel that it is your comfort zone, is it really comfortable or are you just lazy? Mm-hmm. Because it's not, if you don't like your life or an aspect of your life because it's a drag for one reason or another, is it really comfortable if you don't like it, or are you just lazy? And so that's kind of the conversation that we're having right now. In the context she was using it, it's laziness. Hey, Mike, so you wanna be more clear? She who is what I'm asking.
Shade. Well, this is not shade. That's just all right.
Listen.
With listen. It,
So I'm not saying that there's no grace that needs to be shared, especially when people lack the resources, right? I have seen a lot of the okay. Oh, she just said that Daniel had her phone, so that's why you didn't get the reminder text. Leah equals she. Oh, in the context that I was using it, it's it is. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So
it's all about context. I agree.
Yeah. Can y'all give an example? Well, Lynette, you just stated there. If a person is growing up in an economically or socially depressed area, and they haven't seen someone be successful other than illegally, then then Lynette posed the question: is it really laziness that they haven't broken out of
the generational curses potentially, or just your community, the community that you grew up in?
Yeah. So she asked the question: is that laziness? And in fairness, I would say that I would still say yes, that it is lazy, because all it takes, if we keep making it this big thing, it just takes one thought.
I agree.
One thought. It takes one thought for you to be on a different trajectory than staying where you are. And if you could think that, man, like you said, there has to be something better.
Mm-hmm.
You have to refocus your brain to look for that better thing. Yeah. If you say, oh man, there has to be something better, and then you go back to doing what you do for the rest of your life, that's lazy. I feel like this is lazy, but actually, like, getting out of your comfort zone, like, it takes work.
Okay, so how about throw someone out in prison?
Okay,
so if you've been in prison like maybe 10 years and you're institutionalized, mm-hmm. and you get out, it's hard to adjust to a new way of life. So sometimes those men or women sometimes typically do something to get back into prison because they're not used to being outside. And you know, you're told to wake up at a certain time. You're told to do this. You're just always told what to do. So now they've been programmed for someone to instruct them on everything. And then they can't get a job. They don't have the means. So it's okay. It may be it's easier for them to go back to where they came from. Mm-hmm. And I can't say that that's laziness. I feel like their brain is just, they're used to, it's kind of like they're used to being told what to do. So to break that cycle, I feel like prisons are not created to fix you, or what is the word they use? Rehabilitate you. Mm-hmm. It kind of puts you into institutionalized type thinking. So essentially it breaks some people. Mm-hmm. Instead of rehabbing them. So are we to call those people lazy?
So if a person goes back to something, and this is all I'm saying, is it takes a thought to change, to say there has to be something better. If you have already believed, just like in the episode, believed in your mind that this is the only way to live, this is the only way to get it, if this is the only way to do this thing, then that's what your mind has focused on. Because better to them could be, hey, I'm better off in prison than I am in society. I'm better off in this negative situation than I am trying to better it. If you've already made that up in your mind and you don't want to do the work, those are not necessarily the people who I'm referring to. I'm more so referring to the people who are saying, I want to do better, but I can't. If you change that can't to won't, then you can take responsibility in saying, I don't want to do better. Like, you can point out, oh, lack of resources. Oh, I don't know these people. I've never seen it in my family. Mm-hmm. Nobody in my family has ever gone to college. We don't go to graduations on a regular basis. We barely make it out of high school. Okay. Or I've never seen someone hold down a job for longer than 2 years. Or I've never seen someone start something and finish it. You can say all those things and you can use those as excuses. But if you're saying, because of that, I can't do this thing, that's laziness.
Okay. Now, if you break it down to me like that, so I was thinking in general, you were just giving like a generalized statement saying that if someone wants to do something and they don't step out and find the resources, that just essentially, like in a nutshell, is lazy. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. That if they have it just like, say for instance, like you just said, college, and no one in my family has been to college, and because they haven't been, I can't go either. But like you said, it's all it does, because you know there's financial aid, there's loans, there's this like that. So if you seek out the resources, I will say that's lazy. So we came
that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. I'm just yeah.
I wouldn't say that everybody who is down is lazy. I wouldn't make that statement because there's layers to this, right? So I wouldn't say that everybody who is down is lazy, but if there are people, and maybe I just didn't state my point as clearly as I should have, but people who are looking to level up in character or level up in life say that they can't or they won't to stay in their comfort zone, is a lazy thing.
I got you.
It's just for me, it's just a lazy thing. So Rachel says, hey, sometimes they just trying to get it how they live. Girl,
I hear you,
illegally, girl. When you know better, you do better. That is a saying. I don't really like that saying. Because it's a choice. Like people can choose. Like, yeah, I know that you're supposed to pay for certain things or you're supposed to do certain things, but if I can get some things for free and not stealing it, not doing anything shady that's gonna send me to prison, because listen, I have built a great life. I don't need to go to prison. But I'm not going to necessarily do the thing that I know to do better. Like, yeah, you're supposed to wash dishes immediately after you whatever. Do the laundry the same day that you put it in the wash. No, I'm not gonna do that. Janae says, okay, with that example, I don't think it's laziness, because when you know better, you do better most times. Some people don't have that one person to show them that there is better. They believe it's unattainable.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I think, but like I said, it starts with a thought of there has to be something better. And so it's just there when you think that, man, there has to be something better, and you go to look for it, like you have to break out of things that have gotten comfortable in your life. KK says, the example Lynette gave, I just don't see that as being lazy unless they are given opportunities and decide not to take it.
True. I agree, Kayla. Get out of my head. Who she?
You know what? First of all, I don't know who you're yelling at. I'm not saying I'm taking it as disrespect, but listen. I don't know to whom you're referring. Janae says, I may be the only one, but I can only hear lazy in a negative aspect, so it's hard for me to side with that blanket statement. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see it as it being a negative thing. Like, you just don't want to do it. I say lazy because people know what it is. It's not a couch. I'm not saying you're a couch potato. You may be up working the same job, grinding hard, taking care of your family, doing the responsible thing, but that thing that you want to fix in your life or change, you're just not going to do it. And so I just say it's lazy.
Hey, stand by what you say. Stand firm on what you believe.
Listen. It's lazy. It's lazy. To me, not to everybody. To me.
Ooh, shots fired.
First of all, Mike.
Shots fired.
First of all, what we're not gonna do is make it seem like I'm never clear. I am clear as day when I make statements. Sometimes I have to adjust my message to make sure my audience understands it. So I am clear. You just might be just coming for me. It just, you know what? It's okay. so checkout is now self-discount. Okay. Listen. People are legit like, listen, I work here now. Since I'm scanning my own groceries, I had to do my own shopping. I work here. I deserve a discount.
I do not go to self-checkout. I hate it.
It takes so much work. And then if you don't scan the thing, or if you double scan the thing, you got to wait for the person, and the person doesn't care. They're having a conversation with their other coworker. Hey, listen, aren't you on the clock? Hey, listen, I'm trying to get up out of here. Let's see. Janae says, unmotivated or procrastinating towards some goals, lack of ambition, maybe.
I agree with that, Jendaya. Lazy. I think Leah, we're just saying. lazy. It's a
lazy.
negative connotation that comes with laziness. I agree. Like if you hear lazy, you don't. So if we throw around the word lazy, how are we helping? How are we helping that person? Maybe we say that. How can you redirect with kids? How can you help to redirect?
It's that butterfly language. See, that's what I call when I had to learn when I talk to kids. It's a butterfly language. I can't be like, hey, nap time's over. It's time to get up. I have to go. Atticus, come on, Atticus, wake up. It's time to get up.
Yeah, your voice goes up a tone when you work with kids. It goes up just a notch.
Yes. Until a parent walks in unsuspectingly and I have to tell Ben to put his pants back on. Because we're done with bathroom time. And I have to get real like, oh my gosh, Miss Leah, I didn't know your voice goes like that. Do you not parent? You know your voice changes when you parent. You better get your life together. Yeah, I mean, all those things.
She's Jendaya. To sum it up, she's lazy. Just put that across the top.
It's just lazy.
Just put that up there.
It's just laziness. That's at least that's how I see it. But that's, I mean, you know, I get it. Sometimes the language around what we think, what we believe is harming to the idea that we're trying to convey. Mm-hmm. So we have to use language that people can get on board with or agree with, essentially, to move toward change. So I call it lazy because if you're not really motivated, you typically look for other ways to be motivated. If you don't like something, or if you have an aversion to something, you go towards something else or you do something else. That's just...
Well, sometimes it's a chemical imbalance. I learned that in child psychology. Dopamine. Yeah. I think it's dopamine. If you could be lacking dopamine, I think that's don't quote me, listeners, watchers, viewers. But I think dopamine is the part of the brain, or what is the term? It's like dopamine is like, if you're lacking it, sometimes you need maybe medication or something like that, because those certain type people are lacking motivation because there's a chemical imbalance.
We're not talking about people who have chemical imbalances.
But we don't know that. So
we're not talking about
externally, Leah. You wouldn't know. You would just think I'm being lazy. You don't know like the background story behind.
I don't have to pass judgment on you. That is not why I'm here. What I am saying is my perspective in my life, and I can agree. There are levels to this. There are many layers that are not being considered. But for me, I feel like when people are like, man, I want to do better. Okay, what are you going to do better? Man, I don't want to do better. Okay, that's a choice. That's a choice you make. But if you complain on a consistent basis about a thing and not fix it, to me, this is lazy. This is a lazy thing, because you're focused more on the complaint than actually working to fix it. It could be, a lack of resources, like you said. It could be that they've never seen it before. But if you know that there could be a better way, or if you're just used to, you could be in a family that's used to complaining about stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's how they do it. But it's just lazy.
Lazy, okay.
Boils down to laziness. I don't listen to Bill Burr.
I don't know what that is.
Bill Burr is a comedian.
Okay.
Yeah. Use language people are receptive to. I know.
Yes. See,
if somebody calls me lazy, that will most likely be our last conversation. See, y'all. First of all, I don't like that y'all are trying to paint me out to be somebody who's on the street calling people heretics and lazy people. I'm not out here doing that. I'm just like, it may be a thought of just like, this person is complaining about X to get out of there because they're too comfortable in it. They went from being in a groove to being in a rut, and now they're talking about how bad this rut is, and they're not really working toward fixing it. I don't really have people who I'm surrounded by who's lazy. I'm saying myself, I did not want to do the work. I was lazy. And now that I'm doing the work, I can see why I was lazy, because this stuff is hard. Like listen, it's lazy. Leah's trying to tell somebody subliminally they're lazy.
And see, I'm okay. Kayla, dial in. Can we phone a friend?
So first of all,
okay, let's not beat up on Leah.
I feel like people be just coming for me, but it's okay. It's okay. It's in jest. It's all right. It's okay. I'm not gonna cry tonight. It's okay. I have friends. It's okay. I know people love me. But I think sometimes, and that laziness I see is like, okay, well, is it that? Because when I work with kids, a lot of times, especially when they didn't understand math, and I was like, we have blocks, we have Legos, we have this, we have that. Sometimes there's like learning disabilities. Like there's, for me, I invert numbers a lot. I don't know, like for calculations and stuff, I worked really hard at math because numbers and calculations took a long time. And so I worked really hard to be good at it. Stats. And because I was not going to calculus.
Oh, I understand calculus. College algebra was enough for me.
Listen. No, I did stats. And I had to be intentional about it because they wanted to be like, yeah, we want to diagnose you with dyslexia. It's dyscalculia and dyslexia for numbers. It's like if you have issues with seeing how fast you're driving or slow you're driving, how long it takes you to do things, like issues with time and perception with time. You invert numbers, or you say numbers backwards, or you say them wrong, or you invert things like that. And there were a couple of other things. And when I was in college, they were like, yeah, we can get you some help. And I was like, no, because you're going to put the smiley face sticker on my stuff. And I don't want that. Like, let me be normal. Let me be normal. So, but I wouldn't say that I was lazy in math. I just worked harder because I knew that I had to overcome, like, even now, like working in banking, working in finance, I have to like triple check account numbers. Like, I'm not going to read that out loud. I'm just going to make sure when I look at it, it says the same thing. I'm just, yeah. So,
but normal is subjective.
Huh?
Normal is subjective.
Listen, no, they wanted to put me in the remedial classes so that I can get assistance. And I'm like, I'm not. Like, I tested into college algebra. So let me just do the regular thing. Oh, but we think you could help. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
So she turned down the resources. You heard that?
I did because I knew that if I worked, if I couldn't do it, because if I worked harder, I felt like I could do it. That'd be okay. I felt like if I worked harder, if I could do it, but I didn't want to use that resource because I didn't want to be like, yeah, I have a helper.
Sometimes we need.
So yeah, so I just work harder. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. This episode, we talked about limiting beliefs, or I talked about limiting beliefs, and Lynette was so gracious to come on the live with me, so I didn't have to talk to myself. And I've appreciated the conversation this far, but I'm interested in hearing from everyone else. What are and because I can't spell, hold on. Let me fix that. It told me after the fact. What are your limiting beliefs? In the episode, for those who heard it, he said, you can put as many hearts as you want by it. I don't really, and then you follow up with this, you know what?
Dyscalculia.
I feel no love in this live.
He's going to add more hearts now. Add one more heart, Mike.
No. Keep all the hearts. One of and we talked about it right before we started the live. One of my limiting beliefs was, man, nobody's gonna listen to me. I can talk about whatever because nobody's gonna listen to me. But obviously,
I hate when you said that. Because you have a lot to like. You can do probably a 3-hour podcast and it still be something that I want to listen to. Because you can just talk. And you talk about something that is valuable, something that makes you go, Just like the word lazy. You see how you're excited all of this?
Listen, I spread the knowledge. it's just a new way to think about it. You don't have to agree with me, but just listen to the basis of which I'm putting my argument.
No, but I'm saying like when you said that, it like I never said anything, but I said it today when we were talking about limiting beliefs. But I heard you said it. I think it was to Mike, and I believe it when the episode when he was saying he can dunk on Baylor or he could do something in basketball, and you were like, oh, he won't hear it. No one listens, and no one listens to me. And I was like, yeah.
Because he was like, okay, I remember that episode now because Mike said that he was more in shape and he could take Baylor in basketball.
Yeah.
And he said, oh man, is he gonna hear this?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, nobody listen to me. It's all right. So yeah. I mean, it's just it's something that helps me to stay humble. And it's my way of knowing that I need to like keep my head down, keep my feet on the ground, and keep pushing, keep working. Because even though it's not true, like that was a belief for a long time. But never is everything.
Yeah, I'm call Mike out for that Steve Harvey. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead, Leah.
Listen. For me, it would be it's selfish of me to want more for myself.
Oh wow.
And see, being selfish, that's another thing. That's a connotation that comes with that the connotation of selfish is negative.
Yeah.
If the house is burning down, immediately I think of my safety first.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a dog. Okay. He's a good big dog. He's good. Okay. I have a dog. But if the house catches on fire, my first thought, oh snap, what's on fire?
Yeah.
Let me get some pants on. I need to get outside. Those are my three thoughts. Listen, let me get some pants on. I need to get outside. It is not selfish of me to want to save myself.
No, it's not at all.
I feel like selfish would be instead of buying your kids clothes, you go shopping at Louis Vuitton or even to Target. You go to Target and get yourself a haul. Mm-hmm. But it is not it's not selfish to want more. I feel like at some point everybody wants a little bit more. Mm-hmm. More French fries, more money, more responsibility. Everybody wants more for themselves. I don't think it's selfish. Do you think it's selfish?
I don't think it's selfish because you have to take care of yourself. Like you're speaking for Kayla, she's a mom. So you have to make sure yourself, your mental health, you're together, you're eating right, you're sleeping, because if not, you're cranky, you're fussing, the kids are going to feel it. So I feel like as a mom, like moms get like the baddest rap. Like they can't have a bad day. The dad can throw the kids out the cars, forget them in the car, do anything. But if a mom does it, she gets shamed, mom shamed. Mm. And I just feel like fathers aren't held to the Mike. Don't say anything. I feel like fathers aren't held to the same standard, and I feel like Kayla. I feel like a lot of women that are mothers feel like that.
I feel, but there's also a lot of women in general who feel like that. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm supposed to give to my family, give to my job, give to my friends, give to other things. But if I want to take a day for myself, why do you always think about yourself?
Yes. But men do it. Does anybody say anything?
Listen. I'll tell you what. Let's see. Having a bad rep, I'm passive as to not ruin my reputation. Do you have... I feel like you want to play the role of being passive, but you are absolutely not passive.
He's passive. That's not even his vocabulary.
This is that. I feel like he's using that as a veil to be like, oh man, I might. Listen, I might. But if you say something about the block that's on sale for $36.99 in Detroit, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Now it's like meet me at Murder Mac. We about to handle this right now. You should always wear pants, Leah. You never know when there's gonna be a fire. Listen,
Why is it? Why?
I do what I want because I pay my own bills. So
Hey,
there's your answer to that.
Bars.
Listen,
I was gonna say that, Rachel.
That's like being on a plane. You put your mask on before you help your kids. Absolutely. You know, because if you pass it out trying to help everybody else, like people go look at you like you're crazy. They're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, she gave me a mask, but she laid out on the floor. So at least I got mine. I'm good." I'm listening, but you know I don't like doing that. Mike act like he's passive. He is not passive. He just like, I can understand wanting to have a good reputation amongst people, but to say that you're passive is a gross misrepresentation of who you are.
I will say this as we're on it real quick. I feel like Vince makes Mike to be the villain.
Always.
It's like, he always says like, people don't like you. People don't like I want the show about myself. I'm like, Vince, I'm like, dog, are you like pushing your brother out the door?
Oh, the dynamic between those two, and you would expect that Vince is the older one and just like hitting on his and like punching on his little brother, and it's like, what's happened here? What's going on here? Interesting. I
digress again.
KK says, yes, Lynette. Yeah. That was a yell, and it's also the mom guilt. Do you have mom? Is mom guilt self-inflicted, or is that like a societal thing? That would be my question. Mm-hmm. Listen, if you have blocks for sale for $36.99 and I don't have to get a mortgage, I can just use, my spending money and splurge on a block in Detroit and gentrify the neighborhood. I feel like I could come up in Detroit. I feel like I could come up. It's a made-up dynamic.
Oh, the villain, the okay, I got you.
It's a made-up dynamic.
I'm glad you told me. I'm like, no, okay, I got you.
No, because even when I met Vince, I met Vince twice, and the second time he met me, he was like, he said, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." I was like, "Yeah, I met you before." He was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And I was like, "Yeah, you don't remember. It's okay. I'm forgettable. It's all right." And he was like, "No, don't do that." Like, he's like, because Vince is so extra. And he's, "No, what? No, I'm gonna remember. I got, yeah, And I'm like, okay, we're gonna see.
Yeah, good, great chemistry.
KK and Jocelyn say both.
I say both too. Yeah.
Both. Oh, the societal question. I was like, both what? What's both? I don't understand. So it's society's pressure of what moms are to be. The end all be all. You have to be the doctor, you have to be the lawyer, you have to be the Uber driver, you have to be the planner, you have to be customer service, you have to be everything and still be wife, still be mother, still be whatever job you're working in, still have time to yourself and still have your hobbies and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to put on. It's a lot to put on one person to uphold the family when the family is, especially when you have, it's both parents. So I feel like, just, hey. Lynette, you did talk about this in a few of your episodes, especially listening to like the beginning of your podcast. Before you start, like, especially the episodes where you don't have guests on, those are like the cool episodes because you get more of Lynette.
Yeah, people actually like those sometimes more than my guest one. But
I am not the only one.
No, potato. I get that. Listen, it's like some people, yeah.
Girl.
That's probably because I'm wrong. Just talking. I'm probably revealing more than I would if I was, talking to someone else. But no, I'll say my limits and beliefs are more so geared towards relationships now, because as far as life, I've kind of gotten that together with my purpose. So I'll say that romantic relationships, I have limited beliefs because they've been failing. And so I think the next one is going to fail. So I feel like I need to break that cycle of putting, because the law of attraction, I'm all about the law of attraction. And if I put that out into the air, that because that relationship didn't work, the next one isn't going to work, then I'm putting the energy out there. So that's the limiting belief that I'm trying to break now. I'm trying to do it differently as far as like getting involved in a romantic relationship.
That's good, because if you go into the relationship looking to fail, or if you go into just even not even the relationship, but just putting having the thought in your mind of this thing is going to fail before you even get to your first date, like by the time you say hello, then when you start to do that, you're going to self-sabotage like already in your mind. It's like, man, and so your brain is going to look for
ways to escape.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if this is not going to work, we're going to do everything I can to protect myself from this. So let me say the wrong thing. Let me do the wrong thing. Let me make myself as unattractive as possible. While also knowing that I really want to be in a relationship. So I'm kind of fighting against that as well. So my actions don't match my words. Yes, I want to be married or whatever.
You all up in it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Stop it.
You want to be in a relationship, and you're like, man, yeah, when I get married, I want to do blah, 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 blah. But then your mind is telling your body what to do. So your words are not matching your actions. Your words are matching your actions are matching your thoughts of just like, it's not going to work out. So it's like, what happened to that guy? Well, what happened to this guy? Well, how are you working on this? Or what are you doing on this? Like, have you even started? Like, when it was nothing more sobering than when I told a woman asked me if I wanted to get married. I was like, yeah. She was like, you have to date, right? There was a 2-minute pause where I was just like, I didn't even think about that. Like, I have to go outside.
No, I feel it.
I gotta interact with people. Like, the stork can't just come and drop off a husband and be like, "Hey,
I wish
he's a carpenter, chiropractor."
I was just like, talking about Jesus, the carpenter.
I feel like Jesus is above my punching weight. Like, I feel like Jesus is too high up there. Because I'm gonna want to, I like Jesus is a little high, so we gotta lower that a little bit.
Okay,
right?
All right.
So he has a little bit of a past, but he's now a chiropractor who does carpentry work on the weekends. So my deck is being built. So when the stork brings the husband, I'll let you know how it works out. But yeah, the Mike says the episode with the real estate guy was cool.
Oh, he was dope. Thank you. I might try to have him back on. Thank you, Mike.
KK says, ask him if he got a brother.
Who? Because I need a him first. Him who? Nah.
Oh, no. She's talking about your guest. Ask your guest if he got a brother.
Which guest? Roy?
Yeah, Caleb. Which one?
Which guest is she talking about?
Which one is the question?
I have more men on my show. I'm like you, Leah. I've been trying to. I have a woman coming up next week who is actually my cousin. But it's hard to get women on the pod. I don't know.
It's so much, and I try to have a more diverse group of guests, but it's so like y'all. It's you and probably 2 other women who I know I can call, and when we make a schedule to be on somewhere, y'all will actually show up. Because women, it's hard. It's hard to schedule because they have so many other things, and people just be so obsessed with just being busy.
Yeah,
busy doing nothing.
Well, I was busy at one point, so I can see that. But
I
click with men more. That's just me. Like I could just vibe. You just hear my episodes. Since I was a kid, it's just always been played with boys more. It's just my conversation. It's easier to talk to them sometimes.
Here's what I'll say to that, because I used to say those things. I used to do that. We're gonna go through the comments real quick, and then I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Anyone? First of all, Kayla, isn't it time for you to go to sleep? I think it's almost time for you to go to sleep.
She said, "Any."
Yes, Jesus. I feel like Jesus is too high up there. Like I can't. If Jesus is the standard, right? I'm like right here. I'm like right here. Um, Mike says, Mike said, wow. Mike doesn't want me to be great. We're praying for Kayla. That's all we can
I'm
do.
gonna hook you up, Kayla.
Yeah. It's easier to talk to us because we better. I'm just saying.
Oh, boy, girl.
I'm not putting Mike in that group at all. Just at all because Mike doesn't know how to have a conversation. Mike believes what he believes, and when he says stuff, he's like, "I believe this," and try to convince himself and you at the same time of why he is correct without exchanging ideas. He's like, "But again," because that's Mike's thing. But again, like I said 30 minutes ago when we started the conversation. And I'm like, so we haven't made any progress in 30 minutes? But here's what I'll say about the guy girl thing. Because I grew up I have 6 sisters, 3 brothers. And when I was younger, I was always tight with my brother who's right up under me. And I was good on having friends that were women. Like I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I have a lot of sisters. I'm good. But then that turned into me not liking being around women, and I always hung around guys, and so I became like one of the boys.
Yeah.
But which is fine when you're not looking to date.
Yeah.
But when you are looking to date, being one of the guys, and this is kind of where I am, breaking out of that mold of being one of the guys is because it's easy. It's an easy thing to just be one of the guys. It was one of my lazy factors. Like, oh, man, I can just be one of the guys. I don't have to worry about getting dressed up. I don't have to worry about doing this, doing that, blah, blah, blah. If I did put on a skirt, if I did wear lipstick, all my guy friends are like, wait a minute, who you, blah, blah, blah. Listen, y'all dudes ain't looking to date me. Like I need to get up out of here. But being around positive women who are looking to build, who are looking to support, they're out there. They didn't stop with my sisters. They didn't stop with some of the women who are closer to me. Just like yourself, like you're looking to do better. You want better for everyone. You don't want them to just focus on oh, well, you're here, you're only here, you're never going to be better, blah, blah, blah. So I've gotten to change my thoughts and change the way I talk about socializing with women because 1, not a competition. I don't have to compete with anybody. Yeah. 2, I'm not better or worse than you are. I'm just in a different position of life. Yeah. 3, if I open myself to collaboration, whether that's on a podcast, at work, or whatever, learning how to communicate with women a little bit easier, then it brings out more of my femininity as opposed to always toughening up to be around the guys. So I have learned, especially, and I talked about this on the episode with Baylor and Mike a little bit on the live. Hey, I'm a girl.
No, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Listen, I'm a girl. Can we not? And so like, even I was on a group text. I put my brothers on a group text so that we can, my brothers and my cousin on a group text, and they were talking, and so someone said something, and then they were like, oh snap, I'm sorry, I forgot you were on this, or you were on this text message. And I'm just like, hey, being one of the guys was cute in high school. It was fun in college, but no, that's not my goal to look for it. And plus, like, I would hate to have to destroy or end relationships when I get married because my husband may not be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And so looking to kind of diversify my group of friends and diversify the people who I hang out with, I feel like it essentially helps me be better. So I completely understand. I completely get it. And because I used to be there, but getting out of that, it helps to kind of elevate my way of thinking and not elevate my way of thinking about myself. So that I can, because it was a thing of just like, oh man, I'll just be one of the guys. And it's like, listen, when you're 45, when you're 58, you can't just be just one of the guys. Like, when does this when is this gonna stop? You're gonna have to choose a side at some point.
No, I can agree with that because I have like female friends that I talk to and that are trying to better themselves. It's just as far as the podcast goes, that is just the guest that I've been having. But I totally agree with you. I sometimes, just a guy I was talking to recently, I said sometimes I fall in the friend zone because I'm so cool. I'm so easy to talk to.
Yeah.
We talk about sports. I talk about basketball. I laugh. I'll play. I'm just cool like that. And it's like I'm not changing. I'm just being me. And sometimes guys may mistake that and for like she's just a friend, but I'm like I'm just being me. So for me to not be cool, to be like more, to not talk about the things that I'm excited about, it's not me. It's me not being me. And it's not that I don't have women friends. It's just that because I like these things. I love sports. Anybody that knows me, I talk trash about basketball. That's just what I do. It makes me happy. That's just my thing. And so I'm not going to change that. But as far as like women friends, I'm not against. I have women that I talk to, but it's just that as far as the podcast goes, those are the men or the people that I've been, getting on the show. But I do sometimes get friend zoned because maybe like you're so cool. That's what I get, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just being me, and so yeah, I totally hear what you're saying though.
Yeah, I don't think that I've had to change because I'm not into sports like that. Is that it's the cool factor. Oh man, this is a person who just seems really easy to talk to. And that cool factor is what essentially, like I found out last year, two of the guys I went to college with didn't. They told me they didn't want to date me because they thought that I friend zoned them because I just wanted to just hang out, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, wait, what? They're like, no, because I thought I tried, like I wanted to take you out. That's why Joey didn't show up, and I was like, okay.
So you were accused of friend zoning.
I was, but it was just, I was just used to hanging out with everybody. I was just like, oh, we're like, I didn't really date like that. Like, it was just like, I didn't really date until I got to 4-year, but it was like, it was having to change. Like I could still be me, but it's that barrier of like, okay, listen, we know what it is. What is it that you want to do? What is your intention? Let's see. I didn't realize we had comments. Mike says, I think I told you that, Leah. You're welcome. Absolutely not. This is a conversation,
like brother and sister.
This is a conversation that we had after my epiphany. There's not a situation of you giving me information. If you give me information and I use it and it works out well, I will absolutely let you know. But no, we had this conversation after the fact. This is what happens. I let Mike talk, think that he's teaching people stuff, and it'd be like, yeah, man, I learned that like last year. So yeah. He wants to know LeBron or Jordan.
Jordan, duh.
Listen, Jordan. She said duh. She said duh. Okay. Lynette, are they saying you're too cool that they don't want to lose you as a friend?
One guy told me he like you're like a homie, but you're not. Like you're a woman, like you're attractive, like you're cute, but it's like you talk like a homie.
Yeah,
like I see you, you're attractive, you're physically like I see you, I'm attracted, but it's like when your words come out, your words, it's making me think like homie. That's what, yeah.
In high school, I was, But now that we grown, we're not going to be in that. Janae says Curry. Okay. He says ew.
Is he talking about the brother sister thing?
No, I think he's referring to Janae replying with Curry. KK says, first of all,
the Tiger from, I'm lost.
Because Kayla is not a sports person either, and so she's just out here saying stuff.
It's like that's like one of my sister's answers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she'll say something
just
like that.
First of all, okay, Kayla, what is the tiger's name? Yes, the
Oh,
tiger does have a name.
oh, he does, and I know it.
What's the tiger's name?
Okay. I won't do it.
He
You
said,
are
"Follow
following
me."
me. Excuse you. You wait. You're not that young to say LeBron. Usually, younger people say LeBron, and I would think better of you, Mike, because you're not this young. You're not the younger generation that have only seen LeBron.
Yeah, I think he's only 2 years older than you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I know,
Yeah.
like, why is he saying that? Huh, Mike? Answer your answer.
Mike probably has a whole dissertation of why he believes why he's like Jordan did all this and LeBron did this and this is how we wait. Like there's a whole thing.
Not that. Oh, she got it right when you.
I did say Curry. What are you talking about?
Steph Curry. No, who? What? Okay.
Oh,
she's talking. She's talking to Kayla, right?
She's talking to Mike.
Oh, okay.
Or she was talking to Mike when she said Curry. I don't know when you say Steph Curry. I'm like, I know you meant Steph Curry. What did I say something? What are you talking about, Janae? What's going on here?
She got it right.
Look at you, Kayla. Look at you. Okay. It's not too late in the day. Look at you. Always trying to get something right. But yeah, I think that, going into the dating realm, it's more about, for me at least, drawing those boundaries of just like, yeah, if I'm attracted to someone, I try to take the initiative of putting that out there so that it's not a situation of me feeling it taken advantage of because I'm just a cool person to talk to. No, if I like you, I'm gonna let you know. And if it's not reciprocated, no hard feelings. But also, I'm limiting my time with how much I spend with you.
Well, in my latest episode, so I'm rethinking, the whole dating thing. The episode that I made about settling. I know Mike is going to hit him. Settling, where I stopped. I realized that I was settling. It was a particular guy that I was talking to that irritated me, and I didn't know why. Because he checked the boxes. Like he looked good on paper.
Oh, the list.
But I wasn't attracted to him. So I said, that can come. That's what I said. That can come. I read articles and they said that you might not be initially attracted to someone, but if they're like a good man, they have all this, that attraction can come. And I was like, oh, so I was willing to try it differently and say that attraction can come later. So Mike, do an episode on that. Can attraction come after? Can you not be initially attracted to someone and they can grow on you? Because according to articles, they say that it can.
I don't know if this ever aired, but in conversations, did it air? I don't even know if you were there, Lynette. It's not that a person necessarily has to be attractive. It's that you're spending a lot more time with them, getting to know them and their lifestyle, the way they carry themselves then becomes attractive. Like, oh my gosh, they've grown on me. Not that you looking at him and, oh, he was ugly, but today he fine. Like it's not that type of situation. Because I'll put it this way: coworkers smashing all the time. It's not that they're necessarily attracted to each other. It's just access. We spend 8-9 hours together. We get to know each other, and as we get to know each other, it's like, kind of feeling it a little bit. Like we're getting to know each other platonically. Somehow, some way, we decide that smashing might be, not saying it's a long-term relationship, but it sounds like something feasible to do at this point. I'm attracted enough to this person to want to even move in that direction. So I feel like it can come later, but I don't think that I would have pursued something with someone who I'm hoping something that's like dating potential. I'm not gonna, potentially you could build a house. Potentially I could win $1 million. Potentially I could get promoted. Like there's a lot of potential in the world. I'm not gonna date potential. Like if you're a nice person, if you have your life together, you seem to match my hustle, we can have conversation. And if romantic feelings develop, that's fine. But I'm not going to date you based on the potential. That's like I feel so bad.
Well,
I feel like those women who are like, oh snap, he's not Christian, but he checks all the boxes. As he sees me go to church, I'm just going to keep nagging him about going to church. I'm going to date him to save him, and then that way we can be in a. He's gonna want me so much that he has no choice but to accept Jesus in his heart so that we can get married. I've seen that happen so many times, and you're like, yes, potentially he could. But if you're dating with the purpose of, oh man, he checks all the boxes, has this good stuff, blah blah blah, and then but he's not Christian, or he doesn't align with your and I say Christian because we're both Christian, but he doesn't align with your beliefs one way or another, whether that be polygamy or whether that be whatever his kink is, or however the way he talks to people, or what his family thinks. I think that you're just looking for potential, and potentially it could be if it's not, then it's not.
Well, not that. So this guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but the guy that I was dating, he was a Christian, had a good job, $100,000 a year, so like he had kids, but taking care of them, had his own, things like that. But I wasn't physically attracted to him. So like he had all the things, and some kind of way he just needs to know everything. So he kind of asked questions where I led into where I had to tell him, like I was gonna keep it to myself and just work on it. But he lived in a different state. So I knew that I need to build a connection with you being physically around me. So I didn't have the, like, looking at you didn't attract me. So I felt like if you lived by me, maybe me being around you, I could have built that. But because of the barrier of you living in a different state, I didn't have that chemistry or that physical, like when I look at you, like, man, like you, like I felt something. So I didn't feel it. So I'm like, well, he had all the boxes. He was cool. He liked basketball. We had great conversation. But me like looking at him and feeling like butterflies, and me like, oh, like you, like I feel something, like I'm attracted to you, was missing. So that was new to me, because usually that came first and then the other thing. So because I was trying to do things differently, I said, well, how about this time, because he checks these boxes, maybe I'll wait to see if maybe he starts to give me butterflies. But he asked me a question, basically called me out saying, so you're saying that you're not attracted to me? So I had to answer. And I was like, I'm still working through it. And he just went off. He was like, no, he can't do that and all that, this and that. So he kind of called me. I had the answer.
Ego.
So
dodge that bullet. Yeah. Mike says, I've seen them both, and objectively LeBron is better. I do have an essay on it. I know he has like a whole dissertation. I know he does.
You did
attraction can come later. I think it can. I agree, but your situation, nah, you did. I wasn't even engaged with conversation. I just saw the Married at First Sight episode regarding this. This guy was upset about being with a woman who met all of his standards except she didn't look like an Insta model.
Wow.
And blamed the producers for setting. What? Insta models are not real.
They're not. And they're airbrushed all over.
Oh my gosh. These are not real. The women in the picture don't look like the woman on the picture. Like,
no. What?
That was his fault. That was his fault for setting his standards. That was his fault. Listen. This is why I can't watch Married at First Sight. I'll be so mad with these. Yeah. I'm like, you have the opportunity to get to know. No, absolutely not. No. The smashing grow. Listen, I will say smashing until I feel like saying smashing. Like if I don't want to say anything because of me, I will say smashing. Okay. I was talking to a woman who's like 60. Okay, she's a friend of mine. And
you said that to her?
I had to explain to her the difference between he was like, smashing? What's smashing? And I was like having sex. And she was like, really? Is that like some new term? And I was like, no, I think I say it, and there's some people who understand the context of the conversation and what I'm saying, but I can't pinpoint a demographic that uses it. I know you can get smashed. And depending on the context of that situation, you could be talking about getting drunk or getting it in. It just depends. But I don't really say, oh man, I remember in college one time I said, man, I got smashed. And it was in my mind, I realized that I do say smash to smash, like for sex, but I did say smash one time for drunk, and I was like, no, we got to pick. So I don't say like I don't when I mean drunk or tipsy, I'll say drunk or tipsy, but I'm not gonna say I'll say smash for smashing. I talked to you about a woman that did this exact same thing with me, save dating. Ew. Yeah,
Which
it's
one?
not
Which thing? Which because we said a few. Which
save dating. Dating to save.
What's save dating?
Dating to save. When you date, when you're dating someone who's like not a believer, and you date them because they meet all the boxes.
There's a term for this?
Yes, it's dating to save. There's a whole. Didn't you grow up, Kojic?
We never said dating to save. We never said those words.
Because I heard that. I hear that so much. Like I hear that so much in church where people are just like, oh, I'm like, are you guys dating to save? Or because he's not Christian or she's not Christian, and you are choosing to align yourself with somebody who's not a part of your background. So dating to save is an absolute real thing.
I did. Thank Mike. I have to look that up. We must have didn't get that education.
I'm surprised that you haven't, girl.
Is that Baptist? Are you sure that's called?
I don't know. I don't know if it's Baptist. I've heard it. You know what? Take it back. I've heard it more in the Baptist setting than I've heard it in the
Kojic.
I heard it in Kojic. Yeah. Yeah, because I haven't really heard it in like the holiness circles and all that. I've only ever heard it really in dating, because we have more in the Baptist culture. There's more flexibility of bringing your unsaved friends into the church, and not just your friends, but like the person who you are looking to marry, because you want to, let me invite them to church and let me do this. Girl, dating to save is a real thing.
Well, I'm gonna look it up. You see? I'm gonna look that up.
It's a real thing. Yeah, she's like 60, so she didn't know. She wasn't sure. So I had to, just but I'm not hip with the kids. So I don't even know what the kids are saying now. Like what are they like getting it in? Like what euphemisms are new about smashing?
I think they just send emojis.
Yeah.
That's probably what they do.
I figure.
Kayla said it's a concern.
Listen, I will defend
a big turn.
If y'all can see Jackson's face, Jackson is Jania's husband.
Okay.
I want to know what Jackson says.
Which part?
I want to hear what Jackson's thoughts are. Never heard of that. The people actually, you know what? I want to say the people who are who dated outside the church, like they didn't go to church to date, because I feel like that's a term. Dating to save is a term that is used in single ministry groups.
Okay.
And if you didn't date while you were in one of those ministries or in the church, then no, you probably wouldn't have heard these terms. Save dating. Yep. Dating to save is what it's called. And you would be surprised, maybe not, how many people do it. And it's just like, look, I'm looking for someone. She checks all the boxes. She's just not Christian. It's okay. We can work on that. It's not like she got a bad credit score. Like her soul is in jeopardy. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know.
Hilarious.
I've never heard that either. I thought it was dating to change.
Kayla cracked me up. I love you, Kayla.
Kayla be so innocent sometimes, and then I'll be like, Kayla, we're gonna pop something and read. Yeah. The kids say sex. Do they?
They send emojis, Mike.
Do they?
What's that?
How do you know?
I think they send. What's that emoji called? Oh my gosh, I'm on the tip of my tongue. I'm tired.
I don't know what emoji you're thinking of. I know what emoji I'm thinking of.
I know emoji I'm thinking of too.
Yeah. But I don't talk in emojis.
Yeah.
Look, you trying to smash? What's going on? What's going on? Why do you sound like you're approaching 72? Listen, I'm not. Eventually, I'll get there. I'm sorry, my dog just walked under me. Um, let's see.
Oh, it
I'm
wasn't
just
her
gonna
experience,
say
so it's
that
not
wasn't
Baptist.
in my experience in the Baptist church.
Maybe
No,
it's a
it was more
region,
so.
a region of the world.
I want to say that it's because I've only ever really heard it in singles ministries when people are looking to get engaged, people looking to get married. You know what? And I heard it in Church of Christ as well. I was in there. I was invited to one of their singles groups or whatever. Because one guy who was interested in me, and they asked him if he was dating to save, and I was in. So I interrupted the conversation. I was like, one, we're not dating. Two, I'm already a Christian. I just don't go to this church. So
Okay.
yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, but you two were in the military during those times in your dating. Like you weren't in the church. So yeah, so that's probably why. So wow. Look, yeah, that's if you go to church, or if you go to if you're in the religion or whatever, like you're not, what's the word?
What, unequally yoked? Was that what we're talking about? What were we talking about?
No, you're concerned with the state of someone's soul. So
he's
where
asking.
they go, where they go when they die,
Okay.
and you want to be able to see them one glad morning when this life is over. You want to be able to. You want to make sure that you can see them, and so that so you're worried about the condition of their soul. So
saving their soul from an eternal
damnation.
Damnation. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that's the
not.
emoji.
Listen. That's not my testimony. I'm not sending eggplant emojis or requesting eggplant emojis or pictures that remind me of eggplants. I'm not doing that. Look, we either about to get it in or not. Just leave me alone. I'm from the Midwest, like you.
So let's clear this up. Detroit is not the Midwest.
That's what I was going to say.
I wish they stopped saying that on the news. How? It's not. When they said the Midwest, I'm like, Detroit is not the Midwest. Stop saying that. Every time I hear the news say that, I'm like, stop it. It's not.
Like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Midwest?
Wait, you are so far north. What are you talking about?
They do say that on the news, though, Leah. They say the Midwest. They say Detroit, the Midwest. And I'm like, no. Chicago, Illinois, Missouri, Wisconsin. I believe Wisconsin's probably the Midwest. But Detroit.
Is Wisconsin the Midwest?
I
only group people by their accents, and it's not the same. Like, I can believe that Chicago, Missouri, I can believe that St. Louis and Chicago are Midwestern cities.
Mm-hmm. Indiana, I think, believe.
You know what? I haven't talked to anybody from Indiana, so I can't really think of the accent right now. But no. Go ahead and read the rest of my comment, lady. Wait, what did I read?
What did she say? Let me see. What was her other comment?
I don't know what the comment was. I'm scrolling up. Oh, sorry. Never heard of that. I thought it was dating to change them into what you want.
You did read that one. You read that one.
Thank you, Lynette, because Kayla be tripping.
Is there another one?
No, that was it. That was her last comment. Jocelyn says, "What church were you at when you were involved in the singles ministry?" I was at San Francisco Church of Christ. I was at St. Paul Baptist Church in Virginia, and I was at Elevation for their singles ministry very, very briefly in Charlotte. So, yeah. KK said, in Keena's voice, I know some of these words. That's actually Kel's voice that you're thinking of. That was not Keenan who said that. That was Kel. But I can appreciate you, Kayla.
I love orange soda. Is it true?
Because he said that in, when he was reading the contract Keenan gave him. So that was Kel.
That's my show.
Yes, from Good Burger movie. Let's see.
Oh,
hold on. Janai says, from an outside source, clap cheeks, Netflix and chill.
Oh, yeah, they say that. Are they still saying that these days? Are they still saying that? I don't know.
I want to know what demographic says. I know when we say younger, like people who are under 25, the 18 to 25 range. That's pretty much Mike's
Is
dating
that
pool. The
Gen
ones who
Z?
don't drink water.
Oh, wow.
The ones who don't drink water.
Right.
Janai says, outside the swimsuit, Jackson. Yeah, I feel like Jackson said that. I feel like Jackson said that. Mike says
it's not.
Listen, you are the same as the people in Virginia who are in the central eastern part of the world. I mean,
they call it the
eastern part of
South,
the US,
right?
and they call it the South.
It's not.
This is the capital of the Confederacy. It is. Virginia is not the South. Can we not?
I wish they would stop saying that. And you're not the Midwest, Mike. It's not. It's not the Midwest. You and I do not have the same accent. Listen, I know we don't have to have the same accent, but
I feel like there is a commonality in accents when it comes to regions. No, I feel like it is Jackson. I feel like it's Jackson who said that. Chicago is just on the other side of Lake Michigan. There's land barriers, there's water barriers, there's a lot of borders to cross when you are moving through the world.
You can see Canada in Detroit. I was in Detroit not too long ago, and I looked over and saw Canada, and that's the Midwest. It's not.
It's not the Midwest. It's not the Midwest.
It's not.
One of those aren't Baptist, woman. I know. That's what I said. It's not all Baptist. I think it's just the singles ministries. Left or right. If you don't pull up a map and get your life together. Oh my gosh. I'm praying for my family. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Lynette, can you tell people where to find you?
Oh, you can find the Nice to Me. Please spell it. It's not to T-O. It's there you go. NICE. 2 is in the number 2. You always hear me say MEET. U is in the letter U podcast. You can follow that on IG. I'm on all the major podcasts. Oh, Twitter. NICE. 2 is in the number 2. MEET. U is in the letter U pod. Because I couldn't fit the cast. Twitter wouldn't let me be great. So that one,
they don't want me to be.
So I had to drop the cast on, and then thank you, Leah. You're such a good host. Then you have YouTube, Lynette Sowing Seeds of Love, and I didn't change that. I didn't have time. Sorry, I'm trying to graduate, so I was gonna make a new channel with just my podcast, but I haven't had time. And so and exciting news: one of my videos are about to hit 1,000 views.
What? Which one? Wait, which one? So that people can go watch it.
It's the daddy-daughter one. For whatever reason, people are hashtagging daddy-daughter every day because I at least get about 10 or 15 views a day. So I'm at like 9, 12, 9, 16. So watch that video. For whatever reason, that one is just, it has the most views. I'm almost at 1,000. So
hey,
appreciative of that. So yeah, check me out on all major podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all of the major podcast platforms. And most of my episodes that I record on the podcast platforms, you can find on YouTube. So check me out. Awesome. It's a podcast all about inspiring one another to become the best version of ourselves, so we truly know who is staring back at us in the mirror.
I love now that you have, because even when I first met you, you didn't really have like the pitch down, and it's like cool to listen like week to week and hearing that pitch like come cleaner and cleaner, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and then I got used to saying it's Sunday, and now I gotta say it's Wednesday because Desmond will be like it's Sunday, and I was like, because I got used to saying it, and now I gotta remind myself it's Wednesday when it's never Wednesday when I record it, but it's in my head. It was never Sunday when I recorded, but it was in my head.
Listen, I think it's cool. I really enjoy listening to your podcast, and there's a vulnerability that you have about yourself that I feel like disarms a lot of people, and that's why you try to have me and Kayla crying on your podcast.
Oh,
when we were on there,
y'all can come back anytime.
Not saying that you were forcing us to do any of this, but
what?
There's a vulnerability that Lynette has that I absolutely appreciate you for.
Thank you.
Because without that vulnerability, you know, I don't know. Like your podcast is just very enjoyable.
Can I show?
Yeah, of course.
My
You are
student told me
good.
you are good no matter what. So
No
everybody
matter
out
what.
there, this is a 7-year-old said this. You are good no matter what.
Yes.
From the mouth of babes.
Even if you are lazy, you're still good. It's fine.
How you destroy the babies? The baby said this.
The baby said that, yes. Kids have a way of bringing you up and tearing you down with words. I'm telling you. Jedi says Google says Midwest. Listen,
it's not.
Google just reports on what everybody else tries to think, whether it's right or wrong. It says, listen.
Is he angry about that?
It's an angry face. Now, hold on now. He says, sweet 1,000 views.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
y'all
you,
make
Mike.
sure y'all go check out the Daddy Daughter episode of Nice to Meet You Pod. Let's get those numbers up to 1,000. Kayla is excited. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you.
I feel like, Kayla, you've never said woot a day in your life. So the fact that you are typing like that is a bit concerning. But she said, go ahead, Lynette. We send you all the love. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Take Up Space Podcast Live. We will be back next Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. I've been trying to go live on Instagram to let everybody know to come over, which is something we did last week and it worked pretty well. But this week, Instagram would not let me go live.
You want to do Instagram live?
Huh?
You want to do Instagram live one day? Just a straight Instagram?
We can. I'm just looking at really diversifying the audience and looking at where we can go. But yes, I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I'm really excited about what this year has and what this month has as it's unfolding. So just make sure, you know, love who you love. Laziness is not a bad word. If you are lazy, just, you know, change the word from I can't do something to I won't do something, and look how quickly like the motivation will come for you to want to change.
Leah.
Listen, and I'm not talking about extreme situations. Like if you want to believe that that Detroit is the Midwest, you know,
and he's still saying that. I'm saying in the comments. He's still saying. It's not.
I can't with the shenanigans. But thank you all. Thank you to Kayla. Thank you, Janae. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Lenora. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Let's see. Janae. And okay, yes. So I think that's everybody. Did I get everybody? Oh, thank you. Yep, I got Lenora.
You said Rachel?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rachel. I think that's everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to another episode. I will be back on Tuesday with another episode for you all. And next Thursday, make sure you tune into the live. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.